Alrighty, turn 20, December 26, 1941. Let's watch and see what happens. Free base, not necessarily a good one, but you don't get a pick, so you get what you get. Oh shit. Oh, those are my carriers and his destroyers. Those probably have torpedoes. This could be bad, guys. 11,000 yards. Could be much worse. Come on. Come on. Hit those guys. Oh, no. No. That's better. There we go. Good job, carrier. Hit that destroyer. No. Bad destroyer. Bad. Well, no. Oh, that was close, guys. Those torpedoes going after those carriers. I don't like it. I'm not sure the destroyer's guns can hurt the carriers. They have a lot of armor on this modded carriers, but I am positive those torpedoes could put holes in her. And I'm in, if you know, 3. Oh, up. Okay, armor hit. And no. Okay. Yeah, those torpedoes from those destroyers will definitely put holes in my carriers. And, 3 of them could be a sunk carrier. 4 is most likely sunk. Closest repair yards here would be truck, and depends on how hard they're hurt. It could be 4, 5, 6 days to get there. And currently, the shipyards at truck, repair yard, I should say. No! 5-inch superstructure hit, okay. I don't think the repair yard at truck is big enough to handle these carriers yet. Come on, there you go. Hit the cruisers. That's fine. Torpedoes, nope. Okay. These are battles that make you 5-inch bounce off armor. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at these. My torpedoes. That noise that this fight is gonna make me jump every time. These carriers have some good armor, which is okay. But fight's over. Should be.
Hello, my misguided friends. This is your #1 enemy, Orphan Anne from Radio Tokyo, with another blow to your morale and some music to console you. Today, the Imperial government announced that the Imperial Navy has achieved another great victory near Rabaul, with the sinking of 2 carriers, a battleship, and numerous cruisers and destroyers.
Alright, we've got our propaganda there from our wonderful announcer lying about the battle near Rabaul. Nothing was sunk, and actually I would have liked to kill those 2 destroyers, but I'm fine with nothing sinking on either side because that means my carriers are not hurt. You can see here the Soryu took a shell, the Akagi took 2, the Tone took a shell hit. 2 of the 3 shell hits on the carriers bounced off armor. The third one hit superstructure, so I'm not sure how much damage that's going to be. The cruiser hit was a superstructure hit as well, so that took some damage. I believe I think both of the destroyer hits were pretty good size, like 8-inch guns or something, so that should put a mark on the Porter. But to be honest, I don't care about those allied ships. I would like to sink them, but not in a surface fight with my carriers. I was not expecting them to run into each other here. It kind of shocked me, but hopefully they won't move very far, and I could pick them up in the day phase with my aircraft. But hopefully this is the only fight, and well, we got lucky. None of those torpedoes hit. Alright, looks like night phase is over. Still no night air action going on either side. Which I don't expect any to maybe mid 42 or later. Alright, my reinforcements landing at Jesselton. troops coming in at Cotabato. I'll pronounce them how I think, and you guys can make fun of me later. That's fine. I'm not sure any of us can pronounce all these base names, especially when you get into the Russian and the Chinese ones. Some of them are just, I mean, unless you're Russian or Chinese, of course, because then they make sense to you. I'm just a stupid American, and you know, we have trouble pronouncing our own city names. Alright, that's unload phase, naval movement. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, okay. I like this odds. My screening force is sweeping up. Looks like, yep, a little merchy. What the heck's he doing here? First shot, hits. Clean him up, destroyers. No, don't waste the big guns. Oh, that is a big gun. 31 centimeters. It didn't obliterate him like you get when you hit some of the small ships with like battleship guns. When it comes up and says, you know, ship obliterated, like on PT boats and stuff, which is kind of funny. If you can imagine, you know, 2,000-pound warhead landing on, you know, a fishing boat and just annihilating it. That's basically what happened to this AKL too. All right, that's nothing. That's a good kill for us. There are not allied ships at Rabaul. What? Why don't you just tell me there's allied ships at Tokyo Bay too? Alright, should be some airfield attacks here. 55 Bettys, 3 Nels. Obviously a fragment on the Nels. They're trying to come in, land some hits on the runways to keep them from building forts. Once all my troops arrive at Clark, I need to decide when I want to start attacking, whether I want to do, you know, artillery for a week or something, to weaken them up, and then start doing deliberate attacks. Either way, it's going to be bloody. At least at Clark. Alright, what do we do? 39 hits during heavy rain. That's good. I'll take that. Come some more Bettys. We lost one. They got 9 hits in the rain. Here comes the rest of the Nels. Lost one. Don't need to watch all that. Oh, lost. Yep, only lost one. Okay. 14 hits in the rain. Alright, bombing troops. China. I'm not gonna probably inflict a lot of casualties, but we're gonna slow them down. So we can try to catch them up with our larger forces and beat them up. Don't necessarily want to kill them all, wipe them out, but I do want to maul them, so it'll take months for them to recover. Not only will they be worthless in combat for that time, they will consume a lot of supplies that could otherwise be used to fill out actual combat-worthy units. A lot of Chinese troops southwest of Nanchang. The ones we beat up and pushed out of Nanchang. Now we're just gonna bomb the hell out of them while they're in the open. Slow them down. Maybe we can catch them and hammer them some more. All right, Baton again. Lost one Lily and got 3. That's pathetic. All right, bombing that British base force, our piece of 1, stuck in the jungle there. Basically, I could send troops after him. That's like a troop would be unit would be out of combat for, I don't know, a month at least to get there and back. To kill him, it's much easier to bomb him with planes that can't hit anything else. All right, Clark Field airfield attacks. Got the Nans coming in. Heavy rain, 2 hits. I tell you, the weather, I know it's December, but the weather is not nice. Alright, keep piling on the casualties. Mostly those little hits, you get 1 or 2 disables. You're not really worried about that. It's more the fatigue and disruption you're causing. You get that fatigue or disruption up high enough, and the unit's combat ineffective. Doesn't matter how big it is. Keep piling on the damage here. Come on, I should have bombing runs going into Singapore. Oh, maybe not. Maybe the weather's too, the weather's very helpful. Here we go, Singapore, 53 nels. Lost 1, lost 2. Nope, just 1, it says. Heavy rain, 54 nels, about 4 hits. That's not good. 26 Bettys at Johore. Overcast, I got 25 hits. Alright. Obviously, all the AAs at Singapore. Every bomber I can find up in China. I have more I could put there, but I don't have enough air support or aviation support in China to support what I have there now. So don't want to put too money in the bases, because then they won't ever repair. So you got to do a juggling act. I'm buying out aviation base forces from Guangdong as fast as I can, and moving them over into China to support my aerial assault. Alright, looks like that's the end of the air phase. Got some ground attacks here. Alright, tanks versus Chinese troops. 1-1. Not many losses on our side. A decent amount of losses on the Chinese side. Alright, we'll take that. Dot base falling. I've been doing this a bunch as we march down this road. More guys gonna fall. Bonsai, Hollandia. Bonsai. This should fall. Yep. Bonsai. Yeah, this should be a good beat up here. Alrighty, that battalion's combat ineffective now. Take this other base here. Bonsai. Alright, let's get some facility building here. Move our resources around, do some production. Once the turn's done here, once execution's done, we'll be back in a minute or so, and we'll go over the effects, and we will definitely go look at the carriers to see what kind of damage we took. Hopefully those couple hits won't be much. We got at least 1 hit into the carrier. The other ones should bounce off armor, so I'm thinking single-digit system damage. Hopefully low, but we'll find out. Alrighty. Interesting turn. At least in the part where, I had a carrier surface engagement. My carrier and his destroyer is not necessarily a great thing. But we'll see what the damage is here in a minute. Let's go through our normal stats. Point wise, I'm up to 5,400. He's still about 10,000, 9,900. Army points continue to be very lopsided in my favor, almost over 10 to 1. Ship sunk. Just turn on. Here we go. Short by points. It still thinks I sunk the Repulse and the Prince of Wales, and we all know that is a lie. There's a Chicago and Portland. I do not believe the Portland sunk. I'm positive the Chicago did. It's also listed the Saratoga. I know for those of you who've been following my videos and chatting on Discord, I've been saying the Yorktown since the entire time it happened, but it is the Saratoga that I sunk. It says sunk by unknown, so I'm not really sure if he scuttled her, or I think she sunk on her own, but I think it was fire or flotation damage that did her in. So maybe this is probably once it clears up, it'll list the torpedoes that hit her. But you can just go down through. You got it says the Meritus sunk. I can't remember if we actually sunk her or not. I think we did. AO is good. A couple nice sized tankers and so forth. Now we got what, 6, 7 subs, 8 subs listed as being sunk. I'm pretty sure we sunk more than that. Every now and then another sub just appears on this chart as Fog of War stops hiding them. Just scroll down through a bunch of the ships. The small ones aren't really worth mentioning, but I mean the AVP is nice because that's an aviation support plane. You could put those dot bases and put patrol craft there with the float planes and maintain them, and they're hard to spot. So we're doing good there. Let's see, let's go ahead and go through some aircraft losses. 13 says it's lost last turn, 10 of mine, 3 of his. PBY 047A, which is another recon, our patrol type craft. So it says I lost 10, 6, 8 of them were to flak. So I'm guessing my losses are going to be around 8 of the pilots, most likely. 9, yep. That makes perfect sense. Usually when you lose them in flak, they either are killed on the spot, which is why the aircraft's lost, or they go down at an enemy base and crash. Rarely do they escape, and sometimes they do, but they go in the missing in action. So my best ace, not really an ace yet. He only has 4 kills, several with 3, bunch with 2, and a ton of them with 1. I'm hoping to increase those numbers for him. 11 days, pretty much 6 days, we'll get new stuff new aircraft off the arriving Shoho. And then 19 days, we get more transports. Hopefully that'll come fully. No, it won't. 102 max aircraft, that won't come fully filled. Maybe 20 if we're lucky. Then in 36 days, we'll get a bunch of units, a bunch of little baby units. Need to put those on a CVL or something and expand them if I can. Let's go to pilots. You can see my pilot pools are dwindling. I won't say super fast, but they are definitely going down from start. In 4 or 5 days, I'll get roughly 200 and some of each. So that'll help, but I'll be burning through those as well. Incoming ships. Sub chaser in 2 days, 3 days, we get AMC and an AS. It's one reason why I don't convert many anymore. And when I first started playing the game, I used to convert a bunch to AS and so forth. That was a huge increase on AE compared to the original, where you can convert a bunch of ships. But as you look on it, one, we don't need a bunch of subtenders early in the war because we're fighting over our own areas where we have large enough ports to support them. And then later on, 4 or 5 subtenders are plenty to cover the areas. Because it's not like every base needs one. You put one put one here, one there, and you got enough to support your subs in the field for a long time. 5 days, we got some bunch of ships coming, couple of destroyers. I need to change their names yet. Couple some oilers coming in. I believe these are 8,000 tonners. Yep. Yuan ground units. 5 days, January 1st, we get a bunch of units. Ones I'm looking forward to are gonna be this Independent Guards Regiment and the first new brigade. I wonder if I can go into the editor and fix these names. That'd be nice because it looks kind of stupid where I added the brigade to their name, then it added brigade because that's the unit size. But see, let's go through aircraft and engine production. Just as I've said, let's go through here. Not necessarily, I don't really track the numbers. I just can kind of keep an eye on them in the back, and numbers in the back of my head, and make sure we're constantly building them. Once my carriers get back to a port-like truck, these numbers are going to drop a lot as we replace all the losses we had in the engagement with the Saratoga and the Enterprise. Yep, everything's looking good. 1111. Yep. I have stopped a lot of factory expansions in the home islands due to supply shortages. I'm not super short, but I only have like 1.2 million supply left in Japan. Most of my supply is out in the Empire, so I got to be careful and let some supply build up and slowly do some expansion or turn it back on. So support howitzers, AT guns being replaced, tanklets, tankettes, I guess, tanklets, baby tanks. Special Naval Light Forces, which I learned the other day that's the Japanese term for their Marines. I didn't think Japan had any Marines. They just had the special naval troops, but that's what they called that. That's what they called their Marines. Maybe you knew that. Maybe you're like me and you've been playing this game for years and you didn't know that. Some Chinese troops. Everything else here looks good. Let's go ahead and pull up Combat Reporter and take a look. Little surface action here at Jesselton in Borneo, where that little AKL showed up. We hit it with a destroyer shell, so probably like a 4.7-inch shell, and then one of my large cruisers, the CBs, put a 31-centimeter shell into it, and it sunk right after that hit. Here's my carrier engagement south of Rabaul, where we ran into a night action with the two fleeing Allied destroyers who were at Rabaul for some unknown reason. Although I found out from my opponent that he originally sent them to Port Moresby, but my guess is that he didn't reset the home port, and since the Saratoga and Chicago were so heavily damaged, it immediately reset. Or it didn't reset, but it went to the home port. It immediately reset the destination to home port because of the damage rules. And the home port was still Rabaul because he owned it when the ships were damaged. It's just convenient that I took it the same turn, so it's kind of like a perfect storm for that. There's the 4 shell hits into my capital ships. Those are all destroyer guns and no torpedoes, thankfully. Ground combat, I believe these are all pretty much one-sided. Me taking bases. Up here's the one in the open here where I believe my tanks are beating on the Chinese core. Much bigger unit. We got a couple of disabled people, but we inflicted some pretty heavy casualties on the Chinese. And then this is where we crushed that Filipino battalion, making them combat ineffective. Eventually, we will track them down and wipe them out, and they'll surrender, or we'll kill them all. But they are out of the war. Some my amphibious landings, airstrike, nothing new really here. Once again, there's no sign of the Allied Air Force. I'm surprised he hasn't done much of a cap trap. I mean, I'm bombing into China all over the place without fighters, and he could easily cap trap these. But he's choosing not to. I'm not really sure why. I mean, he could be lowering his losses. I'm not sure. Maybe he's desperately short of aviation support, same as me. The wonderful Saints here. Portland, Pago Pago, Terra, I'm not sure that looks 200 by 400 by 200 by 40. That has to be maybe a Southeast Pacific island, or off the map, maybe. These are all up in China. Ops reports. I do like to go through this one because it shows things like when your ships run into each other, which surprisingly enough, at least on the Japanese side, it happens fairly regularly. It's amazing how poorly the merchant captains really are. I don't know if that happened a lot in the war itself. I'm assuming it probably did because they modeled the game pretty good. But my merchant ships run into each other all the freaking time. It's sometimes it's pathetic. It's unbelievable how much damage they do to each other. My transports dropping infantry, the regiment up in Inkang, moving garrisons around, moving base forces, moving supplies. All the units getting the devices upgraded and or replacements. Sightings, taking replacements here. Ships being repaired. Looks like these are all my ACMs being fully converted and returning to operations, so I can get them out to where I have minefields to stop the daily deterioration when you don't have enough tenders. Leaders, just people popping in and out of the leader pool from being split into subunits. Lost the aircraft being grounded to maintenance. Bases I've captured. Base facilities being expanded. Damaged aircraft. Ships lost in combat. It's reporting that this AP President Madison sunk near Manila. It's probably one of the ones that hit the mines that I planted there. Coast Watcher lies. And arrivals. I got a piece of a naval guard unit here at Saipan. Right on a nice island where I have no transports available at all. Or at least not nearby, very useful for that. Let's get rid of that. I know everyone's waiting forward to see it, but we're going to take a minute and go through other theaters before we go down and look at the carrier damage. As usual, I started up here in Burma. Got troops moving. All right, we arrived at Tanbeya and Yay. So we'll take both those dot bases this turn and then keep moving up into Burma finally with some, I'm not saying large units, but that's a regiment. That's a regiment though, but it's a horse regiment, so it's not very powerful. Ton of follow-up troops are coming across through here. We took more guys, so that battalion can head back up. We're still unloading supplies and fuel at Bangkok. There's that isolated British piece of a base force that I bomb whenever I have planes that I want to use that can't target anything else because we don't have enough aviation support forward yet. Troops moving still. We did take Kuala Kangsar, so that's good. And it said, where was it? Where's the base that we were supposed to have? It came up in. I think it no. Oh, Kuala Lumpur's bitching because I don't have any garrison there because it auto flipped. Okay, nothing I can do about that until I get men there. These armor units will keep rolling down next turn to this dot base, and we'll waste a turn and take it. Then to this base, waste a turn. So we got 2, 4, 5 days at the earliest before we can get troops down here, and they'll be the tanks, and that'll depend on whether these units here, which I believe is Indian Brigade, an AA unit, and something else here, will be able to might come over and cut them off, and we'll have to fight here. I got my regiments moving down from here, regiment moving up from here, and down here by Singapore and Johor Bahru, nothing's happening. I am still kind of surprised that he isn't sending these units up to take Kelang from me, because he probably has enough firepower here to do it. You can see I don't have a whole lot here, but I suppose he doesn't know what I've landed, so he might think I have more here than I actually do. Nothing going on in Sumatra or Java yet. I am securing the northwest corner of Borneo here. I've seen Kawang and Kuching captured. Everything from both these bases fled into Sambis. Believe. Yep, I got 2 Japanese naval marine units heading over there. 120 assault strength. That should be plenty to wipe them out. Then we'll take Pontiac, and once we own this, we'll be able to. I'm debating whether I want to go right for Palembang or maybe even come down into Batavia first. The issue I like to grab Palembang, but then as soon as you grab it, you have to have at least two centi of fighters there. You got to put one on night cap, and one for day cap, just to try to avoid the B-17s bombing the oil flat. So it's kind of a mixed bag. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go for Batavia first, take that nice fat airfield out, because I don't believe there's any other good sized airfields he can run B-17s out of, except for down here so Baja. I mean, they can still do the same thing from there, but it's much longer distance. But so I haven't decided if I'm going right for a Palembang or not yet. Come over on north coast of Borneo. We're loading up troops. We just landed more troops here to reinforce the Jesselton operation. Loading troops, loading stuff, just moving men and supplies around. Come up here. We're going to start loading. We're loading the division out of Hong Kong for use elsewhere. More troop movements. Was he emptied yet? Nope. We're still unloading 20,000 tons of supplies into Luzon. That should give us plenty to conduct the assaults that we need here. Yeah, because we got another. Oh, we got 180,000 in Manila. Most of that we captured from the Allies when we took it. We got the units here moving up to Manila, so we can go over to Clark and join the fight. That'll probably be starting in the next few turns. At least the artillery bombardments will. We took Tay there. Boak flipped. That's this base here. We took Cotabato. I'm not sure. We have just enough troops there to garrison it, so they may just sit there. We beat that unit up, made it flee. So we will be chasing that up the road. They'll probably flee all the way up into the mountains, which is surprising that he still has troops where he has them. Cagayan is really undefensible. I'm surprised those troops haven't moved up into the mountains, because that's the most defensible point on the island. Nothing new here in the DEI going on. Just moving stuff around. Don't have a ton of troops available there or support. The next target would be probably all the bases here at Mulakis. But I gotta be careful of Ambon. He does put bombers there. That's probably my next major target in this area. Take Ambon and then Kandari and then Makassar, and then pick up like Topang and Dili, and that'll isolate Sumatra and Java completely without them having to come down all the way down on the west side. Babel is still loading and unloading fuel and troops and supplies. Same up here in Guam. Truck is still not a lot of troops at Truck yet. Most of the ones that started there are out and about. You got the fragment of the piece of naval guard fleeing back to Truck, so we can rebuild. Remember, he got caught here by the U.S. carriers trying to sneak down the east side into the Solomons, and everything was sunk except for that single patrol boat, which is carrying the survivors, which is good so we don't have to buy and back out. Kavieng is ours. We caught up. Looks like we caught up with the fleeing units here. We will crush them hopefully this next turn. But either way, we're gonna chase them all the way down to the dot base and take that. We took Hollandia. We are dropping off supplies here at Manus to reinforce that. We definitely have Rabaul. We're gonna need to send some supplies here. Truck should have plenty of supplies. Yep, 200,000 tons. There's my current iteration of KB, and let's take a look at her. Alrighty, this is good. Damage was not much at all. Looks like they got hit by a 5-inch shell and did 1 point of system damage. Yeah, Kagi got hit by a 5-inch shell, bounced off her armor. If you go ahead and look at the armor on these beasts, the belt armor is 130 points. The flight deck is 95. The tire is 57. 57 is not that impressive. 5-6 inch will go through that. The 95 on the deck armor, that is quite a bit. That'll stop, I believe I looked it up, I think that'll stop a 1,000-pound bomb. So the only real threat from him hitting these with carrier aircraft would be, I think later in the war, the SBDs get a 2,000-pounder. And of course torpedoes. Nothing stops a torpedo. But small arms, small gunfire, and bombs aren't not going to hurt these bad boys. And I believe Soryu was the other one that got hurt. Yep, another 5-inch. Two system damage. That's good. There's no fires. These guys will be doing great. I kind of hate that water noise when you're in the ship screen, but not much you can do about it. You can't turn just that down. So the destroyer attack here, the night incursion we had, did not seem to really affect us. The damage they did was very minimal, so we are still in full operation. We are down to about, I don't know, 2/3 to half we're down to about half our capacity because we didn't start at max. And we probably lost 20-30% of our aircraft during the fight with the U.S. carriers. So we're still combat operational, at least at this point in the war, because he doesn't have anything that can still match us. But if we run up until the rest of his carriers, like 3 U.S. carriers, and that, it'll be a hard fight. We probably won't win it. We might not lose it, but we won't. We don't have the aircraft to win it yet. So I got to seriously think about sending them back to truck to take a bunch of replacements. Look at that again. Fuel's not too low yet, but I don't like stringing my carriers out low on fuel because you never know when you might have to run. So south the Solomons, we still only have the single base here. We do have Tabatia. No idea how to really pronounce that. We're going to grab these troops and kind of splat around here and grab these little dot bases. Not a high importance, but we're not spending much resources on it. Got my subs out here on patrol. Just keeping an eye out for the U.S. carriers in case they want to come over and play. I get some notice here. Wake, we're dropping off supplies and we'll be picking up troops. Back up to Japan. We got a bunch of troops here heading to truck, including an air HQ, which will probably go to Rabaul. I can put some Bettys or Nels there and get torpedoes moving. Here's my picket line of fishing boats. Just in case he wants to play the gambit of 2020 hindsight, the coming up here and bombing northern Japan, Hokkaido, and northern Honshu. The Allies would have never done this during the war because they didn't have complete knowledge of the Japanese order of battle. But I know Allied players sometimes like to do it. I've had 1 or 2 opponents do this to me before. come up here and hit some of the resources up here and really damage them. So I used the fishing boat technique that the Japanese used in the war. So everything's just, not a whole lot to ship out of Japan at the moment. We still have a few troops to move out, but not much anymore. We need to wait till the January 1st when we get that big batch of fresh troops. The war in China is going, I think, pretty good. We have Nanning. We're moving over. There's not a whole lot of troops here at Luchao. 7 units detected. I believe 3 of them are worthless because we beat them up all the way up here. We beat Nanning and pushed them all the way over here. What I do every turn when I pull up the combat reporter, offline of course, you guys don't see me doing this, I go through all my air attacks and I track them by base and location so I know what enemy units are where. So this says there's 7 enemy units here. If I pull up my notes, I could probably tell you exactly what all 7 of those are, or at least 6 of the 7. I know there's a couple army headquarters there. I know there's some base forces there. There's one corps, one Chinese corps that came all the way from down here that's been mauled. It is completely combat ineffective. I believe there's one full combat effective corps here as well, which is why the regiment is not moving across the river to attack, because we really can't take on a corps by himself. On Nanchang, we got 11 enemy units here fleeing now. Got 1 unit here trying to catch up to them. These are the couple units that were not engaged in the Nanchang fight, but most of the 7, like 8 or 9 of these are from Nanchang that I beat up last turn and made them flee. So while not completely combat ineffective, they are nowhere near their normal strength. So if I can get these troops from here, come down here in time and catch them, I'm sure it'll beat the hell out of them again. Which is why you see me bombing them so much. I'm trying to knock them out of move mode, slow them down, so I stay in move mode and get down here. We're coming up here to take Kenshin. There's not much there. Kukong doesn't have much here either. Wu Chao has 2 units listed, but from my air attacks, they are a headquarters and a base unit. I just don't have many troops to spare yet. I got this guy coming up here to take the base. I'll take Chu Xian this turn. There's no one there to stop us. Luckily, it does not require a garrison, so once we take it, we will keep on moving, probably over to Puching, the dot base. Last I checked, there was possibly a base force unit in this area, along with the corps running around here somewhere. I got a full division here, so if we run into it, we could just give it a smack and knock it out of our way. Up here in the northern China, my tanks have still not arrived. You still see them sitting over here picking their butts. Huge miscalculation. I had them all right here. Told them all to go southwest into Chengchao. 2 or 3 of them made the move. The rest went southeast, and now they're trying to come back over here through no roads, no trails, just through the swamp, and it's taking forever. Here's a combat last turn where I beat up on those units with the tanks. I'll probably do the same again. Just need to keep pushing these units out of my way. There's 12 units here at Nanyang. That's going to be a much tougher nut to crack. I'm going to need all the tanks and a couple, maybe division or 2 here to smack them out of there. Because once I take this out, that frees the road up to Cyan and the road/trail up to Ankang. As you can see, for the first time, Ankang is not yellow or red for supplies. Most of the infantry regiment is here now. Looks like we're still probably missing a bunch. Looks like we're missing a bunch of support yet. That's not what I wanted. That's the one I wanted. Yeah, we're still missing like 50 support. So it'll be another couple days of airlifting them in, and probably keep moving supplies too. Because while they both have adequate supplies at the moment, there's not a whole lot of supplies at the base. There's only 500, which is still kind of low. I do have some other operations going on here in China. Nothing as important as this main thrust up here to get to the heart of China. Although last time I recon Chongqing, they had like 20 units there sitting fat on the supply. So that will not be an easy fight. I have no idea how I'm gonna take that, but that's months down the road. I'm guessing. I need to get in there and cut it off and kill all these. I don't necessarily know if I want to kill them or not, because that's going to teleport them back to Chungking, let them sit there on the supply stockpile. But that's a whole different thing to worry about later. I need to clear the rail and clear this area. I would love to get this area here around Changsha occupied, because that's usually the strong point. So I feel once you get past this line here, you can just keep on rolling up. And even if I can't get into Chungking right away, if I can come up here and take like Kunming and block off this, that doesn't the road out of Burma doesn't matter anymore. All they have is what they have, and I can slowly just encircle them and just cut them off and squish them over time. And once I have enough troops up here, I can move troops into Chungking. That'll immediately stop the heavy industry in that from working, light industry, so he won't be getting any more supplies or producing any, and then I can just sit there for months bombarding them. Once I have all my artillery bought out of Quang Ton and over here, I'll have a ton of artillery. But the plan is to take all of China, gobble it all up. Maybe not north. I'll probably end up just taking all the northern China, although you really can't do a whole lot with some of it. Like the oil up here. Oh, that's right. The oil's not there anymore. He moved it. We did that trade. He moved it out of Urumqi down to Cyan or Lanchao. I don't remember which, but yeah, because I got to move the ones out of the DEI into Japan, which was a hell of a nice deal for us. But that's pretty much what's going on. I'm still one turn behind. I actually have the next turn. I will be doing the video on that later today. I'll get these up and posted, so I'm caught up from my vacation. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you do enjoy watching them, if you do enjoy the videos, please give me a like. If you enjoy the series, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. The more more people subscribe and give me likes, the more I want to do these videos, so the better chance that I will be continuing them. But until the next video, guys, I hope you have a good one, and I will talk to you later.